And at this moment in hockey history, Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division. After 37 games skated, they have a record of 20-16-1. They have 41 points on the season. They are 8 points behind the first place Colorado Avalanche on home ice, which is where the Nashville Predators next game will take place. They have a record of 11-9. They've scored 116. They've given up 116 on the season. That means they have a goal differential of even. The Chicago Blackhawks are the Nashville Predators' next opponent. They have an overall record of 11-23-2 and 24 points, which has them 8th overall in the Central Division. On the road, they have a record of 4-14-1. Their next game, of course, will take place at Bridgestone Arena. They have 87 goals on the season, but they have given up 137 goals against. They have a goal differential of -50 on the season. Now, this game is taking place exclusively inside of the Central Division, so let's update you on the most recent Central Division standings. The Colorado Avalanche, as I mentioned, are in first place after 37 games skated. 23-11-3 is their record. 49 points overall, has them 1 point ahead of the second place Winnipeg Jets, but also 1 point ahead of the third place Dallas Stars. As these three teams continue the three-team weave at the top of the Central, I assume they're going to continue doing that into the second half of the season and all the way down to the finish line. It's who will be able to crack that 4-5 spot, because I believe 5 spots will go from the Central Division this year into the playoff bracket of the Western Conference. So the Dallas Stars were in third place with 48 points. That's where we left off. Then you'll find the Nashville Predators in fourth place with 41 points, 7 points back of an automatic cutoff spot, but only 8 points back of first place in the division. The Arizona Coyotes are at 40 points in fifth place. The St. Louis Blues are in sixth place with 37 points. Minnesota is in seventh place with 36 points. So 13 points separates first from seventh in the division. Then you'll find the Chicago Blackhawks with only 24 points on the season, and they are in last place in the Central Division. Once the Preds finish up this one game against the Blackhawks, they'll also welcome in the Calgary Flames beginning the year 2024. Then Saturday, first game of the new calendar year, off to Dallas to take on the Stars on the 9th of January, back home against Anaheim on the 12th of January in Dallas to take on the Stars yet again this month. Now on the 13th of January at home to face off against the New York Islanders. Chicago Blackhawks' most recent 5 games updated through New Year's Eve. On December the 22nd, it was a 5-2 loss versus the Montreal Canadiens. On the 23rd of December, it was a 7-5 loss at the St. Louis Blues. On the 27th of December, after the Christmas break, a 2-1 overtime win versus the Winnipeg Jets. On the 29th of December, the Chicago Blackhawks had a 5-4 overtime loss at the Dallas Stars. And most recently, on New Year's Eve, an 8-1 loss at the Dallas Stars. Mrazek, 25 out of 31, took the loss. Soderblom in relief went 8 out of 10 in that game. This is the third of 4 regular season meetings between these two Central Division rivals, Nashville Predators and Chicago Blackhawks. Let's go back very quickly and talk about the previous 2 meetings. It was back on November the 18th when they met for the first time this season. The Preds defeated the Blackhawks 4-2 on home ice. The backup for the Preds, Kevin Lankinen, got the start, picked up the victory, going 26 out of 31. It was Cole Smith with 2 goals in that game. Trennan and Nyquist a goal each. Soderblom got the start for the Blackhawks, went 27 out of 30 and took the loss at Bridgestone Arena, while Kurashev and Johnson shipped in with the 2 goals for Chicago. The two teams would meet pretty quickly again. This time on December the 5th, it would be the Preds scoring a 4-3 final victory, this time in the shootout in Chicago. Saros got the victory in this game, 25 out of 28. It was Evangelisto, O'Reilly, and Jankowski with the goals for the Predators. Forsberg with the shootout game-winning goal. Soderblom started against the Preds again, took the loss, going 27 out of 30. It was Nick Foligno with the 2 goals in that game, and Dickinson with 1 goal, making up your 3 goals for Chicago. So on the season at this point, the Preds are 2-0 against Chicago. They've picked up 4 points, and they've outscored them 8-5. They'll play one more time after this meeting. That'll take place on April 12th, right near the end of the regular season schedule, when the Preds will go to Chicago for the second time this year. When it comes to the matchup and the rankings between these two teams, updated numbers are as follows. The Predators' 3.08 goals per game is 20th best in the NHL, while the Chicago Blackhawks' 2.46 goals per game is 30th overall in the league. The Blackhawks give up 3.66 per game, which is 30th overall in the NHL, while the Preds give up 3.14, and that is 16th overall in the league. Shots on goal category, 30.3 for the Preds is 20th overall. 26.7 shots on goal for Chicago Blackhawks is 31st overall in the NHL. The shots against category, 32.9. That's 28th in the league, while the Nashville Predators giving up 30.6 shots against per game. That is 17th overall in the NHL. Special teams, the power play for Chicago converting at only 12.8% of the season. That's 28th in the league. Nashville Predators 20.8% is 17th in the league. 27 out of 130 opportunities. Preds penalty kill rating is 25th in the league. 76.9%. They've given up 28 power play goals against, while Chicago's PK is 27th overall in the league. They've killed off 75% this season. So Chicago Blackhawks do not have a single statistical metric below 27th in the NHL out of the top 6 that we talk about here on the show. Now let's talk about the individual top scorers for each of these two teams. We usually like to talk about the top 5 scorers for each team. For the Chicago Blackhawks, their updated statistics: Connor Bedard 15 and 18 now, 433 after picking up a point on New Year's Eve. Kurashev picked up a goal on New Year's Eve as well, 7 and 15 for 22. Dickinson's at 12 and 6 for 18. Foligno 8 goals and 9 assists. 2 of those 8 goals coming against the Nashville Predators for 17 points on the season. And Johnson 9 and 4 for 13 points. On the Nashville Predators side of things, Philip Forsberg has 18 goals and 23 assists for 41 total points. Orion O'Reilly has 14 goals and 16 assists for 30 points. The captain Romeo, he's at 8 and 21 for 29. Gus Nyquist is at 8 goals and 19 assists for 27 points. And Colton Sissons is at 11 and 9 for 20. Anticipated goaltender matchup sees UC Saros with a record of 15, 13, and 1, a 901 save percentage, and 3.02 goals against average, going up against Soderblom, which would be his 3rd start of the year against Nashville Predators. His record is 211 and 1, 870 save percentage, 4.15 goals against average, and in relief, 8 out of 10 in the most recent game in Dallas, in that 8-1 loss. So again, for the Nashville Predators, a 4-2 victory against Chicago at home. 4-3 shootout victory against Chicago on the road, and now they will take on the Blackhawks at home for the second and final time this season, 3rd of 4 meetings in this regular season. We've got to go back to the year 2023 and talk about what happened in the Nashville Predators' previous game. That's got you all set up for the first game of 2024. Again, Happy New Year, Renegades. Great to be back in the trenches. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you joining us for another year of great Nashville Predators coverage right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.